Live from downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
A criminal investigation spanning several years. Tonight, the state is moving to file charges against former Governor Rick Snyder in the Flint water crisis.
The ban on indoor dining being extended yet again. What the governor's office is saying about reopening restaurants and bars.
And enough is enough. Tonight, Congressman Fred Upton becoming Michigan's first Republican member of Congress to announce he will vote to impeach President Trump. We're glad you're with us tonight at 11. Congressman Upton of West Michigan, now the fourth House Republican overall to support impeachment.
Meanwhile, Vice President Mike Pence making clear tonight he has no plans to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove President Trump, setting the stage for an unprecedented second impeachment of the president. Alice Barr is in Washington with the very latest.
The House of Representatives is on the verge of impeaching President Trump for a second time after Vice President Mike Pence declared in a letter late tonight he will not invoke the 25th Amendment to remove the president. It comes as House members debate a resolution calling on Pence to do just that, a last-ditch and now futile effort before a vote tomorrow on one article of impeachment, accusing President Trump of, quote, inciting violence against the government of the United States.
This president is not meeting the duties of office and is clearly not capable of it.
Unlike the last impeachment, at least a few Republicans have pledged to vote with Democrats. Among them, the third highest-ranking Republican in the House, Congresswoman Liz Cheney, who said the president, quote, assembled the mob and lit the flame of this attack. President Trump denying that today in his first public appearance since a rally inflaming supporters directly before they marched to attack the Capitol.
People thought that what I said was totally appropriate.
That claim now sharply disputed by even some of the president's staunchest defenders. The New York Times is now reporting that the Senate's top Republican Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has told associates he believes President Trump committed impeachable offenses and is pleased about the impeachment push, believing it would make it easier to purge the president from the party. Tonight, at least one Senate Democrat is calling on Leader McConnell to bring members back to Washington to hold an impeachment trial before President Trump leaves office next week. Right now, they're in recess until the day before the inauguration. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.
Now, the FBI and the Department of Justice announcing they expect to charge hundreds of people connected to last week's riot and insurrection at the U.S. Capitol.
So far, 70 arrests have been made with another 100 criminal cases opened. Today, a spokesperson with the FBI says the agency has received more than 100,000 pieces of video and photos since the riot. A strike force has also been formed to look into sedition and conspiracy charges. A sedition charge carries a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison.
Meanwhile, in Lansing, the state will be installing a 6-foot-tall fence around the Capitol building Friday ahead of possible protests over the weekend. State police advised the move after the FBI issued a warning that armed protests would be held at state capitals in all 50 states.
February 1st, that's when restaurants across the state can expect to resume dine-in service. That's the word from the Michigan Licensed Beverage Association. Mara McDonald is live downtown. Mara, they expect the governor to make that announcement tomorrow.
They do, Kimberly, and here's the deal. So currently, the state's current prohibition against dine-in service is set to expire this week. Clearly, it is going to be extended another 2 weeks to February 1st. The governor's office confirms February 1st will be the reopen date for Michigan restaurants to begin dine-in service.
We are absolutely upset, but at the same time, we have to say, okay, let's hold hard on this February 1st date and let's do it right.
Michigan's current order disallowing dine-in expires this week, but will be extended another 2 weeks. The restaurant industry has been struggling mightily during the pandemic, and reopening requirements are, as of right now, not clear. Now, lobbying groups for the restaurants and bars disagree with the state's supposition that they're big spreaders of COVID, but at this point, Ellis tells me they'll just agree to disagree and move on. They're desperate to open.
We are going to continue to work with and talk to the administration and say, look, let's come up with what's logical, because even if you open us, or when we open, I'm not going to say if we do, when we open February 1st, it has to be financially viable.
Back here live, Ellis tells me he is hoping that the state doesn't do a blanket density level for restaurants, that they will take into account that smaller spaces should have different requirements than larger spaces. Also, potentially looking at things that restaurants could do, whether that's some upgraded HVAC system, I'm not clear, but other items that these businesses could do that would allow the state to increase their density level. All should be revealed in the next 2 weeks. We're live downtown tonight. I'm Mara McDonald. Back to you.
Okay, Mara, thank you.
A bombshell coming today in the Flint water criminal investigation, with the state now planning to file charges against former Governor Rick Snyder, a development his attorney calls outrageous. Sources tell Local 4 that Snyder, along with several other former officials, have been told they will face charges and to expect initial court appearances to come soon. Now, it's still unclear what the charges will be. There are expectations it would either be manslaughter or a neglect of public office charge. Let's bring in Jason Colthorpe live at the water plant in Flint. And Jason, residents there have been waiting for some accountability for years. Let's tell us about how the news is being received.
They sure have. Well, they are, if you remember the Flint Water Warriors, I spoke with a few of them tonight. They are thrilled by this news. Now, whether these charges actually have teeth, that's another matter they're not sold on yet.
We've been destroyed, man. We've been destroyed.
Tony Palladino is destroyed financially. He used to have 4 houses to rent, but now...
I can't rent this stuff out. How could I rent this out to anybody with good sense, you know? I don't trust the water.
He's also destroyed physically, but his and his wife's health problems are just the tip of the iceberg in Flint.
This neighborhood alone, there's been 4 deaths to brain aneurysms. Cancer is just rampant, and they don't mention it.
Tony's too worn down these days to be the water warrior he once was, and you can hear that in the skepticism of the coming charges against the former Governor Rick Snyder.
I don't really think anything's going to happen to him other than, and he's gone.
Wherever the evidence leads her to, that's where she's going.
Arthur Woodson was maybe the original water warrior, hounding the city from the beginning. He finds it refreshing that a politician, in this case Attorney General Dana Nessel, kept a campaign promise.
She has, held her end of the bargain, because the evidence must have led to Governor Snyder, because he's being charged. And I am ecstatic.
But while he feels they've been made whole on the criminal side, he and others say the settlement money hasn't covered nearly enough for the people affected.
For 7 long years, we have been sitting in lines. We are mentally drained, and some of us have serious mental issues behind this, and that's not in the...
To die, they're not getting compensated for it.
Yeah, boys, you just have to imagine, just some people will never be the same, obviously. The other top officials that were that could face charges: former aide Rich Baird, former health director Nick Lyon, and Howard Croft, the man who used to run the Flint Public Works. Devin, back to you.
Well, I'm curious how Governor Whitmer's, what I think a lot of people felt was an unusual alliance with Governor Snyder last week, that we saw the 2 of them coming together. How'd that sit with residents there? Did that come up?
It did not go over well. Yes, it did come up. In fact, a few people did bring it up to me. One woman said she found it disgusting. Arthur Woodson, who you saw in that story, he said he and many others felt slighted by Governor Whitmer, not just because of that, because she hasn't followed through on a few things. She promised to bring back the water pods, giving away the water bottles, and they say that hasn't happened either. So, yeah, that definitely didn't go unnoticed, Devin.
Yeah, interesting. All right, Jason. Back in the city of Detroit, tomorrow the city will begin vaccinating residents at the TCF Center parking garage.
An appointment is required, and the city is focusing on seniors 75 years of age and older. Other eligible Detroiters include teachers and child care workers. The city is planning to vaccinate about 400 people tomorrow and has a current supply of 20,000 vaccines right now.
I am going to do everything I possibly can to make sure every Detroiter who needs it gets the vaccine as quickly as possible. So we're going out on a little bit of a limb here, booking 20,000 appointments over the next 4 weeks. The governor's doing everything she can to get vaccines, and I was pleased to see that the White House in the last couple of hours has indicated they're going to be releasing a lot more out of the warehouses.
Our Dr. Frank McGeorge will be answering your vaccine questions all day tomorrow. He will join Local 4 News today at 6:30 a.m. and then at 12:30 p.m. Join us for an online discussion with Dr. McGeorge and our health producer on clickondetroit.com.
Now, a Local 4 News update. A missing Oakland County child is found safe. The Oakland County Sheriff's Office tells us Shanitra Say was arrested in Atlanta. She allegedly stole a car in Pontiac that had her 3-year-old daughter inside. The child is staying with family now in Georgia. Deputies tell us Say will be extradited back to Michigan.
In Macomb County, Border Patrol agents arrest a convicted sex offender who had been deported 4 times. Agents arrested Jesus Trejo Garcia in Romeo as part of a state police investigation. We're told in 2005. He was convicted for inappropriate behavior with a child in California. In 2016, he was convicted of improper entry into the U.S. He could now be deported again and face federal charges. Still ahead, a woman is pulled from a burning car with only seconds to spare.
The daring rescue that had officers risking their lives. Coming up. Here's Ben.
Devin, we had slick streets tonight from some of that freezing drizzle, but we're waiting on the 40s tomorrow and maybe a little bit of sunshine to go with it. A nice turn before a snowy weekend, and we'll look at it all next.
I'm down here, guys, zooming a little bit. On the right in that vacant lot. Yes, this is about to become Detroit's newest attraction, a drive-in movie theater. I'll tell you why this is absolutely the perfect place for that. Coming up.